What a lot of people don't know is actually the amount of tax-free income you can get in a year, talking in 24/25, is £23,570 income without paying tax. But let me tell you how that's made up. So firstly, you've got your personal allowance, which is 12,570. We all get that. That comes off our pay, and it's that's a tax-free element. Secondly, if you rent a room out in your house to, say, a lodger, that's the first 7,500 is tax-free. If there's two of you own the house, you get half the allowance. But let's go with the 7,500. Thirdly, we're all allowed to receive £500 worth of dividend income tax-free a year, which is incidentally is about a tenth of what it was when dividend tax came in under George Osborne. We all get if you're a basic rate taxpayer, you can get £1,000 of interest tax-free. That's called the Personal Savings Relief. If you're a high rate taxpayer, you only get 500. If you're an additional rate taxpayer, that's income over 125k, you don't get any allowance there. There's also a thing called a trading allowance, which means if you are selling goods or services as a sole trader, the first £1,000 is tax-free, which helps people who are selling bits and pieces on eBay. The first grand would be tax-free. They don't have to worry about doing a tax return. And lastly, if you rent a property out, the first £1,000 of rent is tax-free. You would either claim actual expenses, or if they're lower than 1,000, you claim the 1,000. And if you add the 12,570 for your personal allowance, 7.5 rent a room, 500 quid dividend relief, £1,000 savings relief, £1,000 trading allowance, and £1,000 property allowance, that comes to 23,570, which sounds quite good until you look at what it was in 2017/18, when the same allowances were high. You actually got 27,000 then. So it's actually gone down since then in absolute terms. And when you consider inflation and what's called fiscal drag, when allowances don't keep up with inflation, it's actually gone down quite a lot. So it's interesting, and it's also interesting that it's going in the wrong direction.